Hey everybody! Well, this is kind of a first me. I guess I don't need the headphones. I am sitting outside. This is really great. Completely mobile. Check this out. Well, you can't see the computer. I'm with my laptop here at the park, and I just stopped and parked myself at this bench right there. You can see the bench right there, and I turned the camera on for the webcam on my camera here. And I thought I would just sit at the bench for a second and do a little stream of consciousness. I was thinking earlier about my better self, and we all have our better self. You know, I'm not too pleased with myself a lot of times, and I don't. This is not the little violin time, but I just want to set it up as an example, and extract from there whatever you will. Not too pleased with myself on two counts lately. The way I handled the way I've handled atheism, and the way that I've handled my withdrawal from the J-Vlog community. The reason being is that I've upset people unnecessarily, and then perhaps with the former there was no way around that. The way I could not upset people. With the latter, perhaps I could have done a better job. With the atheism thing, I think the problem is that I took the approach of deciding to attack religion. And although I do believe that in many cases religion is well worthy of attack, I believe that there's a lot of genuine evil perpetrated by those who are seeking other ends in the name of God. We all know that that's the case. We all know that it's the case with people who are not religious as well. But in many cases, there are religious people who are preying on the vulnerabilities of those who are vulnerable, and I want to make sense. But more than that, the real reason that religion bothers me is that it stops the cognitive process. It basically allows us to settle on a frame of mind that stops us thinking further, stops us inquiring further, and basically sets up a construct, basically a little a glass, not a glass, an opaque residence in which we can live. Now, I've kind of withdrawn a little bit on that because I realize now that there are people who simply don't want to live outside that box. I was watching Bill Riley basically debating with Richard Dawkins, and I was realizing that Bill Riley was really upset with Richard Dawkins because Dawkins would not give him anything other than religion. You know, Bill Riley said, well, you know, I've got the idea of how the universe came into existence. You say there's nothing. What else can you give me? And Richard Dawkins said, I can't give you anything else. I don't have an answer for you. And Bill Riley basically rejected Dawkins' statements because he couldn't give him an alternative. He couldn't give him something that Bill could be comfortable with. And I realized that some people simply they can't accept, they can't live with the nothingness, just as they can't live with some people can't live with being alone, or the loneliness is overwhelming, so they would much rather be in an abusive relationship or any relationship at all, rather than suffering being alone. There are other people who simply cannot bear to well, basically any type of circumstance at all where we're uncomfortable. We'll do whatever we can to avoid that discomfort. And I realize that there are religious people who could not. Just as I could not hold in my head a belief system just for the convenience of having a belief system, nor there are some people who could not do the opposite, who could walk alone, walk without the comfort of a belief system. So what do I do? What do we do with those people? Well, not much we can. We try to help them to become more comfortable with this, but I know that may be a futile thing. Why do I know that? That ties in with more with what's happening with the withdrawal from the J-Vlog community thing, and I haven't handled that well. The reason I withdrew from the J-Vlog community is as I said in the video that when I left, I'm not a good friend. I'm a person that prefers to be alone. I get around people too much, and I just get overwhelmed. It's like I told my wife once, it's like listening to a loud noise, and you can only tolerate it so long. You just have to get away from it, and that's the way it is with being around people. I know it sounds terrible. It sounds terribly antisocial, and I don't mean it to be, but that's the way it is for me. And the problem is that when that happens, when I get to that state, I can have nothing to do with others, the crowd. I'm pretty good with my wife and daughter. My wife, probably because we've been together so long, and partially because she knows how I am, and sometimes I'll just go away into the hills to kind of recover my senses, and she prefers that because I'd much rather have that than the unsociable me that just can't stand being around people for a while. Because I go away for a while and I'm okay and I can come back. But I'm not good. There are other people out there. Being a J-vlogger, I was in contact with people, making relationships with people who had no idea about this weakness of mine, and were taking very personally the period in January when I basically withdrew, and I couldn't get away. I realized in January that I can't be a good friend in the J-vlog community because I can't escape the way I can with my wife. I can't tell my wife. I can just go to my wife and simply say, "Sweetie, I need to spend an afternoon in the mountains, or I'm going to head out for a walk for a little bit." And she knows exactly what's going on. It's inconvenient sometimes. It's selfish sometimes, but it's what needs to be done. I know it doesn't work if I stick around and just try to be and try to push through it. It never works. It never works. I just everyone can see through it. I make other people miserable. Likewise, that's what I was beginning to do with my friends in the J-vlog community. So I decided to basically withdraw pretty much altogether from it, and that's pretty much the way I've been all my life. I've never had a lot of close friends personally. I've had friends over time, and that's largely because of this trait of mine that I've never been able to overcome. So how does that tie in then to religion? Well, that is my cross to bear. No, it's not. That's not the good example. It's not a good way to say it. That's my issue. And I can understand those who, for example, don't want to be without a creator, because maybe that's as difficult for them as this being social over extended periods of time is for me. I don't know how to get over it. Maybe they don't, and I don't know how to live that way. I could not live that way. I could not live as a social butterfly. It would not be possible. And I recognized in Bill O'Reilly's comments, he was saying, well, what can you give me, Richard Dawkins? What can you give me as an alternative to basically give me that comfort? And I know that I understand that, because I can't come out of my social sanctuary away from society, because I just can't do it, and there's no alternative to it. So I can understand people who are like that, and I want to change the way I approach the atheism. I'm probably not going to be attacking so much. Not that I have much at all yet at all, unless it's blatant evil, as I've seen, like Peter Popoff, that is clearly manipulating and using crafty tricks to get at people, or if I think that there are basically disingenuous efforts being done of any sort, then I think it should be. Or if it's with people who are close to me, I think it's kind of an obligation to cry bullshit. I hope my friends will do the same for me, and I look forward to it when it happens on YouTube, when people say so in comments. It's a good thing. So I'm probably going to adjust that and not use my efforts on it as atheism as an attacker, but instead more as something similar to just letting other people know that you can come out and be an atheist and enjoy life, and that there's the little community of people out there that can do it. This is to support people, to give my testimony, to witness, hallelujah, so to speak. I haven't seen the light. And I'm okay. I'm enjoying it. I'm not a very social person, but otherwise I'm okay. Do that kind of thing. Share with other people, because heck knows, as I've been starting to talk more and more about religion and atheism since last year, I've received so many comments and messages from people who are, especially young people, who are telling me that they feel the same way, but they're afraid to tell anybody because they're a minority. They feel quite alone. They know they'll be ostracated, so to speak, from or is that the right word? I don't even know exactly what that means, but basically excluded or rejected. And I want to let them know, hey, you won't be rejected. I may not want to spend a lot of time with you socially because I'm not that kind of person, but welcome to the club. And oh, what a tangled web we weave. And with regard to the J-vlog thing, well, there's nothing much I can do about that unless I can overcome this, and I really don't think I ever will. I'm this age, and I've never been able to overcome it. It's only gotten worse over time, and I don't expect to. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I spend time with my wife and my daughter and my extended family, and my brother and my mother, and that's about all I can handle. And I get together when people come by. I'll get together with them, but I just can't do very much. It's just not my thing. Just like some people don't go. Just like some people, write to me and say, "How can you possibly? Why do you go off into the mountains all by yourself? How come you don't bring someone with you?" It's simply because that's the way I am. Other people couldn't tolerate to do that. It's the same type of thing. So I'm gonna sign off. Hey, this is the first real stream of consciousness video from my laptop, from my mobile computer. Isn't this great? It's all online and just disconnected. I can walk around with it like that and everything. This is great. You can see there's the trains and stuff over there. I'm going to sign off for now. Stream of consciousness for Wednesday, April is the 18th. Yeah, it's the 18th. It is over. Take care, everybody. See you soon.